And should be live. Hello and welcome to Shooting the Shit episode 193, I think it is. Anyway, I'm just sitting here waiting for the co-host to turn up. She's, I don't know. I know she's about, but I think she's busy messing about on Twitter, talking to stupid feminists on Twitter. I think that's what's happening anyway. Yeah, I think that's how it works. Anyway, to get back to the point, we'll just get on with the show until she turns up. Because she's a woman and they're always late. It's kind of the way it works, right? So the first thing I've got here is, what is it? Window capture. Yeah, it's so Star Wars KOTOR, if everyone knows how good that game was, it was brilliant. There was going to be a reboot, a fan-made reboot, but it got closed down by Lucasfilm. So this, oh man, that game would be really good. An ambitious fan reworking of BioWare Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, made in the Unreal Engine 4. That sounds really fucking good. Yeah, Lucasfilm has shut it down. Sad but expected news, I suppose. Talking to Twitter, the project's Palm Studio published a cease and desist letter issued by Lucasfilm alongside the following message. It's with great sadness that I'm posting today. I recently received a letter from Lucasfilm instructing Palm to end production. After a few days, I've exhausted my options to keep it afloat. We knew this day was a possibility. I'm sorry, and may the force be with you. Right, so Lucasfilm, you're assholes. God damn it. Sent to project lead Tyler Trotter, the following letter outlines Lucasfilm's admiration of the affection and enthusiasm for Star Wars franchise before stressing its obligation to any unlicensed use of Lucasfilm intellectual property. Yeah, I suppose they have to sort of do that, right? But at the same time, they could have just went, yeah, but we'll hire you to do it and they will sell it. Like, that's what I would have done. So unauthorized use, writing on behalf of Lucasfilm. We have discovered the game and reviewed the related websites, social media pages and public statements regarding the intent to develop a reboot of the Lucasfilm game Knights of the Old Republic. It's not a Lucasfilm game though, is it? It's an EA game. Well, it's both, I suppose. Notwithstanding the affection and enthusiasm for the Star Wars franchise and the original KOTOR game, we must object to any unlicensed use of Lucasfilm intellectual property. Palm Studios' current use of the Lucasfilm IP on its website and social media pages is without our authorization and is infringing. Must take immediate steps to remove all uses of the IP, including but not limited to Star Wars copyrights, trademarks, characters, artwork, images and logos, and desist from any further use. Lucasfilm is the exclusive owner and all integral property rights in and to the Star Wars major motion pictures, games and any Star Wars content. As such, you continue to use of that and reflections to the KOTOR game is misleading to the public and is likely to create confusion as to whether it is affiliated with Lucasfilm. Lucasfilm does not permit its names, characters, logos, copyrights and or trademarks to be used without authorization. So Lucasfilm underscores the fact that the exclusive owner and IP rights of the motion pictures and all that, and references to Knights of the Old Republic could be misleading to the public, are likely to create confusion. No, it's not. It's not. At time of writing, the website is still live, as noted above. That will shut it down on the 15th of October. Once that goes, this in-game footage will presumably follow. Till then, check out what might have been. Right, I want to see this, because I didn't know this was a thing. I've just discovered this. So I want to see what this...
Salutations everybody, it is Maddie here today with an incredibly exciting video. Today I am proud to present Apeiron's Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic gameplay. This is a world reveal. I am the first YouTuber to be able to post this content. A big thanks to the Apeiron team for hooking me up with this gameplay because it looks absolutely incredible. Now before we dive into anything else, a couple things. First off, this is in a very early state in development, okay, pre-alpha, and things such as materials, lighting, and static meshes are still in development, and many things are set in the level that are still set as placeholders. So you'll see a couple of things throughout these demos that'll make you scratch your head or be like, oh, that's a glitch or something like that. Don't worry, this is very early in development, and I'm sure that these type of issues will be ironed out by the end of it. Also, you may be wondering what plants we're seeing because everything's entirely different. Not only will I have them labeled, but just so you guys know what you're going to have to look forward to, we have Lower City Terrace, which is what you've been looking at right now. Next is Endar Spire, which is really cool. And then next is Anchorhead on Tatooine, which is absolutely my favorite. And then lastly is Upper City Terrace. And you'll really see what time has been spent in the certain areas of development where you'll see Upper City Terrace.
I couldn't find my, not my, I said headphone, but in the group chat, but it was my mic.
Yeah.
But I found it now.
Okay, I was just showing that video. But you're here, so... I was telling everyone you were fighting with this weird, crazy feminist peoples on the Twitters. And
yeah, I was doing that. That's why I didn't look for my stuff like right up until the last minute. I was like, oh crap, I gotta find my stuff.
Yeah, I said that to everyone, and I was like, as a woman, she'd probably be late. Just because that's... Yo, you know what I mean? That's a joke, right? I didn't mean it as...
Yeah, of course.
So, yeah, no, that guy's really weird. That guy that jumped in that conversation, he seems creepy to me. At Twitter.
Yeah, because he was like, you have to prove you're a woman now, apparently, for the mansplaining thing to stick. Because he's like, because it's like fucking mansplaining to me, and I'm a woman. And then he tried to use his degree like a few times as an appeal to authority, and I think he shadow banned a little because I can't see all his tweets.
Yeah, he must have.
But anyways, so I finally saw one where he stated his degrees, and one of them was like I/O psychology, which has nothing to do with psychology behind humor or anything like that. And then the other one, it was this child working with children or whatever is what he does. And I was like, that has literally, because I knew there was a bunch of different fields in psychology. I was like, look, my mom's field in psychology is business psychology.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a bunch of different fields of psychology.
Oh, of course it is.
I need to know like where your degree is if you're going to try to make an appeal to authority on why rape jokes are bad.
Oh, he can.
Neither one of his psychology degrees covers rape jokes or humor or dark humor. And I gave him a link to a psychology paper that was talking about it.
No, but he's also wrong, right? Because comedy's subjective.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's very subjective. But I mean, I just gave him a link to psychological science here, to humor, to dark humor.
Oh no!
So it's kind of explaining why dark humor appeals to people. You know, just the psychology behind it.
Okay.
And stuff.
see in Scotland, they like, I don't know, well, mostly around this place in like England, most of the time as well, we have like a dark sense. Like we do the banter and the dark sense of humour and play all the time with that shit. You Americans don't seem to do it the way we do it. We like,
yeah, I know that.
very-
Well, no, America has its own dark humor, but
it
there is a
does.
difference between the UK humor and American humor. I would say for sure. I find UK humor, or like, just the European humor, also very funny. I laugh at it. I love Monty Python's and other comedians from there that have done some
Right.
really dark humor before.
right.
And
But it's
we
a
also
different-
have our comedians over here that have
You
worked
do,
with dark
but
humor before
it's
as well.
it's a different way of doing it. You guys
It is
are.
it is a different way of doing it. I will say that there is definitely different.
Yeah, but we do that all the time. Like, we call it like banter. Like, we just do that all the time. Like, even without thinking about it, someone would just say something like off the cuff that could be like pretty dark and shit, but it'd still be funny. Like, I think they do it in England as well, but not as much as Scotland. Scotland's got like a knack for it. It's weird. And sometimes you don't even know if they're being serious or just fucking with you.
Yeah.
So it's like,
But I find that stuff like funny. I do. I find dark humor funny. Now, there's some dark humor that I might not find like, I don't find every dark joke funny. But humor is very subjective. So a dark joke I don't find funny, another person will find funny, and a dark joke somebody else doesn't find funny, I might find funny, kind of thing. Because it's all subjective and everything.
right, that's how it works.
And then he had
and
like
then-
three
but this guy
different rape
thinks he's-
survivors
Right, but
tell
this
him
guy
it's
thinks.
okay. And then because he was trying to make this appeal, and his degrees didn't even cover any of this stuff.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. He thinks that because he's got a degree, it makes him more intelligent than everyone else, and he can talk down to
Yeah,
everyone
I think
and
he
say
thinks that he could talk down to people, and he thinks that it gives him an appeal to authority, basically,
yeah,
and that he knows everything. And the thing with psychology, though, is it's like a lot of it's changing a lot of the time, and even people with that degree, that specific degree in psychology, doesn't mean that they know every little thing about it.
well, no, the problem with psychology is that it's all subjective. There's no, like, every person's different, right? They've not even figured out how the brain works properly yet.
Yeah, they haven't. And
Right,
well, there's
so-
there's psychologists that will agree on one thing, and then you can find psychologists that disagree with it. So whatever.
Yeah, it's not like there's not a one
It's
thing.
it's not completely set in stone.
It's not a
And
proper
it is,
science.
That's why it says it's changing a lot. of the
Right,
time.
it's not like a proper science, like computer science. Like, there's, like, it's pretty much finished with the silicon-based stuff. So you have to go into like quantum computers and all that shit to get the woo-woo stuff, if you see what I'm saying. Whereas psychology is all woo-woo. Like, there's not.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
There's not like a set thing in that, whereas like the computer things and the more physical type stuff that you can actually test properly, because we know how to test it and we've advanced enough to know exactly what it's doing. We know the ins and outs of that, so that's set in stone. Whereas like psychology and all that shit, it's just like no one knows, because the brain's too fucking complicated. They've even like done brain scans and shit and going, but we don't know what this bit does. We know it lights up for this reason, but we don't know what it's doing. And then there's this other bit, if we electrocute it, it gives you visions and shit, but that's about how we know. So that must be something to do with the vision, because we know that messes up vision if we do this. But that's basically all they know. They don't have like a proper map of the whole thing and know every single bit of everything.
Yeah.
And that's why all the antidepressant drugs and the brain drugs and stuff, there's so many different types, and some people it'll work, some people it doesn't. Other ones they need to change the drug and then get another one. It's because we don't know what we're doing, we're just fucking with it and seeing what works. That's basically where we're at the moment with that shit, and it's not going to change for a long time. Cause
Probably it's very complicated
Mm.
structure.
But he came in and just went, I've got a fucking degree in psychology. And it's like, And like, what's your point? Like that,
Yeah.
like that
Well,
gives you the authority over.
I'm sure he brought it up because I stated,
No, he did.
the dark humor behind psychology, but then he was just trying to talk down to me and make an appeal to authority of his great, wonderful psychology degree that he had that had nothing to do with the topic.
Yeah, and then his mates. The women.
I think he thought I was dumb enough to be like, oh, a psychology degree, but like I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, my mom has a psychology degree.
But the lawyer, and the lawyer wifey, she thought she was it 'cause she's a lawyer, so she could win the argument. They're all the same.
Yeah, she did.
They're all
She's like,
I have a
I'm
degree,
a
I'm better
lawyer,
than you.
so this person, and so I thought I was just like, oh, I'm just but a humble Norwal.
Yeah, I don't believe it. They're like, oh, I have this, so I'm better than you type attitude, right? And like, I know better because of this, and I do that, and it's fuck off. These people don't mix with normal people at all. Like, at all. Like, I don't mix with normal people either. But these fuckers don't even... I don't think they I don't know. They're in a weird bubble. They must be. Because they would get fucking smashed if they walked into a Scottish pub. Like, if they brought up any of that shit. If they just went off on one like that, I have a degree. They'd just get smacked. Like, that's how it works. It's just, you don't do that, man. You talk to people properly. You don't just go, I've got a degree, so I know better than you. You sort of teach them why they're wrong. Do you know what I mean? You don't...
And if they're wrong, because just because you agree doesn't mean you know everything about the subject, even if that subject is what your degree is. Because knowledge in in an area, like let's say a doctor, a surgeon, he has a very, very specified area of expertise.
Yeah.
Even in that very specified area of expertise doesn't mean he knows absolutely everything that has to do with surgery.
Yeah, exactly. Cause he might be a heart surgeon.
And
then the other guy's a brain surgeon.
There's so much knowledge.
Yeah. No, but that's... And then he said he's an undergraduate. So you're not like what he said he was. Like, because undergraduate...
Well, no, he said he got... what was it again? He said his undergrad work was IO Psych, but his graduate work was in child psych. And he was like, he thought this was his big drop, and he's like, my thesis was on, wait for it, childhood assault survivors and dissociative disorders. And I was like that was his big got you moment, and I'm like, that has literally nothing to do with the topic of dark humor and rape jokes.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing to do with anything he said. It has nothing to do with anything he's tried to get authority on. It's like, it'd be like me saying, I don't know, I know how to build a computer, therefore I know how the PlayStation 5 works, or the PlayStation 4 works. I don't fucking have a clue how it works. I've got a rough idea, but I've got a better idea how PCs work. Like, I know how to, like, what's in them and exactly how they sort of work. Whereas I know what's in the PS4, but it's slightly different. And it's that slight difference that means I don't know. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes sense. Anyway, it's different. Consoles are different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are. They're different. Well, like, yeah, like, just because I know about, like, this one thing, even if the thing's similar, like you said, a computer and a console, they're both technology based. They both have the wires.
Well, they've both got the exact same
other stuff. So they've got similar things going on with them, but just because you know the ins and outs of one doesn't mean you're going to know the ins and outs of another.
Well, I do know what the hardware is in them, but I know what they're based on, so I know that AMD make the part that goes into the PlayStation 4, so I know it's roughly based on the APUs that AMD have for the PC, but it's a OEM part, so it's specially made for the PlayStation, so it's got special bits in it. Like, That's all I can say, because I don't know what the special bits are. I just know that it's slightly different from the ones that they make for the PC. So, yeah, and then it's got different programmings. I know it uses like some type of Linux as the operating system, but that's about it. So for him to say that he'd done child psychology, and then saying, but I know psychology because I know the humour. No, you don't, because that's child psychology, which is completely different from an adult, because an adult's a fully developed brain, whereas a child isn't. So, like, you're already away from the subject we were talking about, and to put the humour on it as well, but you didn't study that. And I don't get the point that they were saying that you have to be a victim to find it funny. Like, no, I can find a joke funny even though I'm not a victim of the, like, someone brought up the paedophile jokes for the priests and stuff, the Catholic priests, right? I can find them funny, but a Catholic priest didn't fucking give me a blowjob or make me give them a blowjob. I can still find it funny though if someone makes a joke about it, because that's how humour works. Like, I don't need to be a victim to find it funny, because I know they're joking. That's the point in a joke. Oh, I hate these people. Oh, I fucking hate these people. They annoy me so much. Anyway, get back to this game footage. And before you go as well, before you dip out, you need to have a look at this anime article that I've got. Have you heard about that?
No. Go ahead and pull it up.
It's, if you look on the Discord thing, it should be Goblin Slayer. That can be your article before you go. And then I'll get back to this video, because this is a Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic mod, the full mod in the Unreal 4 engine, but got IP thingied by LucasArts, the bastards. This would have been great. Anyway, I'll play more of the video.
Ships flying around, giant skyscrapers, statues, you name it. It seems like a fully developed area. We'll see at certain parts the guy shooting lasers. We see that the character has a gun. And you may notice one thing that's entirely different from previous Knights of the Old Republic games. This is in first person, which is entirely different. There's a head bobbing. This will be in third person as well. But I love that they're taking a first person direction with it. It's very different, but yet very modernized. I really do like it, especially if they're going to be making the combat more action oriented. Then I'm definitely really excited for this, because then shooting in the game won't be as bad. I know that some people can build ranged builds quite well in KOTOR. I've always struggled with it personally, never found it appealing, so maybe now being a person who uses blasters will actually be quite useful. But regardless, this is more of a tech demo, more of a display on how much detail there is inside these environments and just how the game is looking, because right now all we had was screenshots, and then they contacted me and were like, well, hey, we kind of want people to know that this is actually how the game looks. Now mind you, YouTube does compress the files, but I have the raw files, and I can tell you guys that, oh my goodness, it looks incredible. You know me, I've said it multiple times in previous videos and podcasts, I am not a graphics guy, but I absolutely adore what I see right now. Lower City Terrace looks beautiful remade. Upper City Terrace looks incredible. Tatooine is just amazing, so true to the original area, but yet so new and refreshing feeling. And the Endar Spire really has a fresh take on it that I really like, and I love the direction they're going in. Like I've said in the past, it's more of like an alien feel, and the reason I say that is because of all the little symbols. You'll see the little neon lights were obviously due to technical limitations. In the past, KOTOR was kind of bland, I guess you could say, even though I hate to admit it, it definitely was. So seeing it updated is one that's going to kind of push some people away, arguably, but still I think will bring in a lot of people and get them really excited. And a lot of people are wondering if this is a project that will continue onwards, and right now it's being classified as a mod, not as a product that's going to be sold or anything like that. So I really don't see this project getting shut down. But anyways, this has been a very exciting video to bring to you guys. This has been the world reveal of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic gameplay from Apeiron. So I ask that you guys share this gameplay. Please do me that favor, because this is incredibly exciting stuff. Let me know what you're thinking on this in the comments down below. If you have any feedback for Apeiron and what they can improve on, what you want to see in their game, hit them with it in the comments down below. They
It does
always
look like a
appreciate
good
your
team.
feedback. As always, be sure to follow at Aperon_KOTOR on Twitter for constant updates on this game, such as screenshots, as well as when they tweet out when they're live on it.
Anyway, yeah, so it got shut down, so that's a shame. They got a cease and desist. So, have you got that article up? What was it? Goblin Slayer.
No. Oh, okay. I don't, but I can get it up. I'm copying the link. Give me a second.
I seen V's video on this, and I was like, holy shit, man. So, yeah.
I'm loading it up now.
It looks quite good, actually. It does look quite good.
Okay. Yeah, so Goblin Slayer sets itself up as an anime's darkest series.
It wasn't dark. Well, it was a bit. I don't know. It wasn't.
There's a lot
dark.
of really dark animes, though.
Yeah. This.
I don't know, because like you can't. I don't think you could say something as anime's this or that. Like it's the most or anything like that. So you can't. I don't think you can say it's the best series, or I don't think you say it's the darkest series or the funniest series. I don't really think you could say that with all the anime that's out there, because there's some really dark stuff.
Well, I don't know.
And I think it would be subjective from person to person to who.
Well, I think the outrage of this, the amount of articles that's came out with this is fucking hilarious. Because, like, if you watch V's video, he does a good thingy of it, and it's like, yeah, I mean, it's a bit dark, but I've seen worse. Like, but it's just it's just one episode. There's just one episode so far, right? It's one episode, and then this article comes out. But anyway, you can go on and read this, and then you can go do your food preparings. It's only short.
Yeah, I see that. I will do that. Wait 1 second. My daughter's making a lot of noise. 1 second.
Don't make noise. No, we can't hear her, so it's fine.
Okay. Well, she was starting. I didn't want her to start getting pretty loud.
No.
Alright, so Goblin Slayer sets itself up as anime's darkest series. Kumo Kajiu, and I'm sorry if I slay any names. And Kobaru Kensatsuki.
It's some Japanese game.
Goblin Slayer is one of the more notable anime series of the fall of 2018 anime season, but it might be gaining infamy rather than notoriety. After the first episode of the series, fans are noticing how dark the series is setting itself up to be, and not many will be able to even sit through the premiere. I'd sit through the premiere.
Oh no, it looks great.
The series MMO, the world paints it similar to other anime series of its ilk, as it begins with a young priestess becoming an adventurer for the first time before realizing just how brutal the world can be. A young and inexperienced party before they're helplessly and ruthlessly massacred by goblins. So this is like kind of realistic. This is what would happen. In many narratives, goblins are seen as the weakest of monsters, and the same can be said here, but they act much differently in the series. The goblins in the first episode rival in murder, rape, and other terrible acts with glee, and they have a rape culture.
They do.
And the unexpected violent nature of the series certainly takes fans by surprise. With the series starting off with such an intense violent act against the main character, it raises the stakes quite a bit for the future. This is even all before the introduction of the titular Goblin Slayer, who's a calculating hunter of said goblins and kills them without mercy. Before the episodes end, he even kills a group of goblin children because goblins can grow up with grudges and come back to fight adventurers with a vengeance. This is all very realistic.
Yeah.
The intensity of the series is belayed by its initial introduction and cute character designs. Love it! Oh my god, cute character designs, and like this whole thing here of their description above I think I would actually be into this.
I'm gonna put on when you go. I'm going to go as well, and I'm going to put on V's video. So, because we'll end the YouTube thing, and I'm going to put on. No, in fact, I'll leave the YouTube thing up, and V can flag me if he wants, and I'm going to play his video because everyone needs to see that video, man. It's fucking brilliant, and that'll give them more context because without the visual part of it, you won't get the context of what was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I'll probably want to watch his video as well.
Yeah.
The intensity of the series is belied by its initial introduction and cute character design, but before too long, the series makes its mark as what is possibly the most brutal anime of the fall season. Okay, maybe of the fall season. I was like, I don't know if they've seen all the animes. There's a good chance that no other series this season will go the same lengths, and fans would not be remiss if they chose not to continue the series after such a brutal introduction.
Oh no, I would.
You can't discuss the brutal nature of the series' first episode due to many gross details, but hopefully this serves as a fair warning to those unwittingly stumbling upon it, for those seeking out its darkness. Goblin Slayer was first created by Komo Kaju, with illustrations provided by Noboru Kanasaki back in 2016. The light novel series tells the story of it's repeating itself. Why did it repeat itself?
I don't know.
I feel like I read that, but it repeated itself.
Yeah.
Anyways, sorry, it repeated itself.
Yeah, so it tells the story of a priestess as the naive girl goes adventuring with a party in their fantastical world. However, things go south when the group gets ambushed by goblins. With her party slaughtered, the priestess is saved by a hero known as the Goblin Slayer, whose goal in life is to eradicate the goblin race with extreme prejudice. He sounds like Doom Guy. Like it sounds awesome. Like everything about it sounds awesome. Anyway, you can go and do your thing, and I will go and see if I can find V's video on this, because his video just basically sums the whole fucking thing up, basically.
Yeah. I'll go do the food. I'll be back.
Yeah. I'm gonna say that.
Even if you're not into anime, you will love this video, because I'll make it so that anyone can understand what's going on, even if you're not an anime fan. The story takes place in a fantasy setting, very MMO-like, and you can see it's very realistic because the woman plays support. That is some quality realism here. And she gets into this adventurer guild where apparently people at 15 years old start out. I'm not even making that up, okay? Like, she is 15. And she is just going to look over the quest board and find an appropriate quest to do. But because she is support, she immediately gets harassed by a party of adventurers. That literally is what happens in MMOs, right? Like, supports are the thoughts of the MMOs. Like, all you have to do is exist, and other people will give you attention. Like, she doesn't have to stand in a wait time queue or anything. She just sits there looking pretty, and people are already harassing her to join a party. And apparently the quest is to go into some caverns and slay some goblins, because the goblins have raided a nearby village. They kidnapped some women from that village and also stole a lot of food. So now they need to go there and punish the goblins. Now at this point the show adds further immersion and realism into the setting by showing that since she is support, literally zero fucks are given by what she has to say. No one cares. Even the DPS gives her shit. The tank laughs at her. And this is very realistic. If you play these types of games, no one cares about the support. All the support is expected to do is shut the fuck up and heal. And maybe put words on the map. Anything else is unacceptable. Now, I don't know why most female players are attracted to this role. I'm not going to give you my opinion. I'm just going to let you formulate yours. But anyway, moving on. So the battle begins, and let's analyze what happens. So the DPS managed to aggro a bunch of mobs while the tank is out of position. She manages to take one, but instead of taking advantage and running back to the tank, she decides to engage the rest of the mobs in melee range. Obviously she gets Raffle Stomp because it's a range character, not a melee one. And now we're going deeper into the fight. We are 22 seconds in. Tank is still not in position. Apparently he doesn't give a fuck. But at least we see that the support is doing damage. Wow, absolutely brilliant. Fucking awesome. Reminds me of actual encounter. Holy shit! Yeah, the anime is pretty violent. Remember, these are 15-year-old girls. Like, look at this. Oh my god, this is brutal, right? Now the tank is deciding to come in and is realizing that maybe it would have been a good idea to save the DPS, because a mage might have been useful at this point, standing behind him, firing spells, rather than being in front of him and dying quickly. Also, he quickly finds out that he doesn't have enough gear requirement for this encounter. Like, a single goblin stab goes right through his armor. Like, absolutely no equipment. What the fuck is this party doing is beyond me. So, as obviously expected, and to no surprise to anyone, we witness a party wipe. And again, I would like to point the brutality of this anime. These are 15-year-olds, reminding people that this anime is a little bit dark. But the scene that follows is the one that causes much controversy around certain commentators, certain anime journalists, if you will, anime influencers. They really do not appreciate what's about to happen.
Oh no.
So I'm looking at this, right? And my heart is racing. I'm really into this shit. I'm like, oh my god, how are they going to escape? Oh, the feels. You know, such an innocent girl trapped into this really nasty predicament. Very dark. I haven't seen anything like this in Western media. Well, this is something brand new. I'm excited. I want to know more. But then you look online at the anime critics, the anime journalists, the ones that you get wisdom from. You know, the ones that have an entire business built around talking about the anime, and all they're saying, me progressive, me no like, is this fascism? Yeah, I think these critics definitely discovered it. The Japanese need to shut it down. See, they hired Benito Mussolini in their anime department in order to push fascist and white supremacy propaganda over the innocent kids in the West. But luckily, these brave anime critics managed to catch on just in time to warn us from the evil fascism that is hidden within anime, right? So parents, if you're reading this article from Sci-Fi Wire, make sure your kids don't watch anime. Just don't, right? Because it has subliminal fascist messages in it. And it's not just the critics, by the way. If you go on our anime, or if you look at the Twitter, the people who are progressive, they're all in unison. They don't like it. They're really angry about it. They're very furious about it, but they can't really articulate why. And I'll tell you why. If you look at the critics, it's not really the violence that bothers them. It's not the fact that 15-year-old kids get torn up and dismembered. No, that's fine. The problem is with the Swedish snuggle, the Calais welcome, the enrichment and multiculturalism of it. That is what bothers them the most, right? It has come to a point where murder, especially in video games and anime, is a constant thing. Like, people die all the time in fan art and in video games and in anime. But that doesn't pose a problem per se But the moment you have a scene with the Swedish snuggle, the progressives lose their minds over it. It's like, do you understand that murder is worse? Like, killing things is worse. Like, can we have some priorities? Like, no. Okay, right. Let's criticize the anime from my point of view. Let me show you how it's actually done. So let me start off by saying that the goblins did absolutely nothing wrong. As you're looking at the anime, you notice that there's no female goblins around. So the only way for goblins to reproduce and to perpetuate their species is to mate with a human female. And because of that, they are being discriminated against, and they are being ran away from civilized places to the point where they have to go in the ground. Now, you will notice that the humans are very imperialist, and they're very bigoted towards the goblins to the point where they decide to invade their homes in order to start slaughtering and butchering them like animals. So really, if you look at it, the goblins are the victims here, and this is why we need multiculturalism. We need every human village to open their doors and allow the goblins in, because the goblins are underprivileged, while the humans live above ground in these very wealthy and privileged societies, and they definitely need to stop with their violence and their imperialist propaganda. And if you look at the anime a little bit deeper, you will notice how one of the more seasoned adventurers come in, and after defeating the goblin armies, he actually starts butchering and massacring the goblin children. This is absolutely horrible, right? Now, how did I do? Am I a good critic or what? Can I inject politics into shit or not? Because apparently this is how you should criticize this. It's not that this is just an anime made for entertainment and there's no political philosophies underneath it. You should just take it for the entertaining purposes. No, apparently not. Right, so if that's the case, then I guess I'll put my own political spin on it. Normally, I use the far left as a moral compass, especially the people who are bloggers, that are progressives, people who are journalists. They're very good as a moral compass. Everything they tell me to do, I do the opposite. And I know I'm a moral person by doing it. Most of the time, right? Not all of the time, but usually, overwhelmingly, yeah. So if they don't like Goblin Slayer, I love Goblin Slayer. Best shit ever. Absolutely, hands down. I have not seen anything better. And not only that, but if they don't want people to see it, I encourage people to see it. Please go see this. This is good shit. I was entertained by the first episode. I don't know where they're going to go with it. But at least right now, it is really, really great. And looking forward for the next episodes. Maybe I'm going to do reviews for them, depending how people feel about it. Let me know in the comments section, and please subscribe. I have been slacking lately, slacking with my videos. A lot of people don't like it, and it shows in the subscriber section. So I promise I'll put more effort. I'll pick up the pace. Also, I have scheduled an interview with Imam Tawhidi, the Imam of Peace. Check him out on Twitter. Amazing guy. Looking forward to talking to him, and that's going to be in a couple of weeks from now for your enjoyment. So subscribe to get notifications regarding that, and I'll see you all on the next video.
Well, there you go. That's V's take on that. So you just type in V on the YouTube search bar, and you'll find his channel, and you can do what you want, have a look around. He did do a good take on that. I quite liked it. Anyway, we're done with Goblin Slayer now. I'm done with YouTube, so yeah. For the rest of the show, tune in to arifradio.co.uk and scroll down a wee bit and then to the right you will find that we have the play button and stuff. You have a look around the website, you'll figure it out, unless you don't know what you're doing. And then, well, to be fair, you don't know what you're doing, you shouldn't be part of our audience. I mean, that's how it works now, right? That's so everyone says, don't like it, don't buy it. But you're not buying anything because it's free. Anyway, bye bye YouTubes, and then I can get stuff done.